Bob's Discount Furniture knows that transparency is the mother of integrity.
This is the moment Craig McBurney longs to recreate. A sight so commonplace one hardly pays it due, but McBurney and his team of volunteers with Connecticut Corsair intend to recapture history, that of World War II and Connecticut, in restoring one craft to flying status.
So our goal was to educate people about the role that Connecticut played in aerospace and still plays in aerospace today. The engine and the propeller and the airframe were all built here in Connecticut, and then many other components were built by contractors and subcontractors in Connecticut. So our goal is to restore the airplane here, back in its birthplace, and we're trying to use as many vendors and companies who are either, whether they contributed to the Corsair originally or can contribute parts and services today, to market and promote Connecticut as a place to do business.
Bits, pieces, and mammoth parts populate the Connecticut Corsair hangar at Chester Airport. It is museum and workspace alike, grounds for resurrecting the Chance Vought F4U Corsair.
I grew up just outside of the New Haven airport, watching airplanes fly as a kid, and I knew that's what I wanted to do. So I decided at an early age to go in the Air Force, and right after high school I joined the Air Force, and I was able to become a crew member on B-52 bombers. Having that experience, I got into World War II aircraft, restoring and flying World War II aircraft, and the Corsair always came back to me because I knew it was designed and built in Connecticut, and I just realized that was the airplane. If I was ever going to restore an airplane, would be the Corsair.
All this culminating in McBurney's purchase of a damaged Corsair in 1993.
The Corsair does not lend itself to having parts made from scratch without reference material. It's a very complicated airplane, and there's many different forgings and castings and extrusions. So the traditional method is to start with an original part, whether it's damaged or not, and then manually copy it, either at a machine shop or have a draftsman make a sketch off of it. But very rarely would the individuals work with drawings. It would work off the actual part. Well, we've combined that. We've got over 20,000 drawings of the Corsair that we've been able to archive, and we've got original parts and photographs and manuals. And with all this information together, we're using this new technology, this reverse engineering, to capture that data and put it into a program such as SolidWorks, which is something that once it's in, we can manipulate the data and create the parts that we need.
McBurney and his team leveraged trade shows and conferences as benchmarks for progress. Next up, January 2010 in Anaheim, California, for a SolidWorks World Conference. Laura Jaworski explains the larger significance of these engagements.
Connecticut has a presence at two of the world's largest air shows, one being Farnborough, which is in the United Kingdom, and the second being Paris, Le Bourget, which is about 30 minutes outside of the city. We have been doing these two shows for the past 4 years in conjunction with our partners at the Connecticut Center for Advanced Technology, their Supply Chain Initiative program. And the goal of the program is to showcase the over 1,000 companies who are part of the state's integrated aerospace and defense supply chain. It's an opportunity to show all of the creative, innovative, and dynamic people who are in the state. And it really solidifies our tagline at the show that Connecticut is a global aerospace leader, we empower innovation, and we create success. The restoration project was a great example of companies partnering and collaborating to work together to perform the restoration of the Corsair, and it was an opportunity to engage companies across different capabilities to help in the restoration, whether it was modeling or graphics or computer-aided design or plating or lading. So it really was an opportunity for a lot of different Connecticut companies to come together.
And just like that, in Paris, McBurney found
We traveled 8,000 miles to meet a company that's 30 miles from us here back in Connecticut.
Enter, for example, Mark Bleak of Bolton Works.
To me, it was a golden opportunity because of course, the publicity it brings with it. It's a very nice project, and it really showcases the technology very well. It showcases the difficulties with reverse engineering. How do you do something cost effectively? It's also a learning curve for my company. If you're getting involved in something, okay, what is the best way of doing something like this? So you can apply what you learn in a project like this to other situations outside this project.
Housed at the Pratt & Whitney campus, Bolton Works specializes in the multidimensional scanning and processing of objects, enabling cost and time-effective replication.
We use what we call a white light scanner. It consists of two components. One is a projector, which projects a stripe pattern on the part you want to measure. And that stripe pattern is picked up by a CCD camera. The stripe pattern during the measurement cycle is going to move, it's going to rotate and translate over the part, and every time it does it, a recording is made. From that, you can calculate what the distance is from the camera to the part, and you end up with points in space. So the whole geometry of the part you want to reverse engineer in this case is displayed in points. So you have got literally millions of points representing the geometry.
McBurney is utilizing Bleek's specialty to replicate and rebuild the Corsair spar, backbone to the craft, in time for January's conference. Bleek is scanning and processing the spar's individual parts to determine accurate locations for bolt placement during assembly. 900 holes worth, but hours of manpower saved. McBurney has also contracted with the likes of Trumpf, Seacat, and Reno Machine Company in East Hartford. The latter, for example, possesses a giant machine that will, based on Bleek's work, cut out the three-dimensional spar pieces from hunks of metal with a fully articulating arm.
McBurney and his wares regularly go on display, more recently at the New England Air Museum. But as work continues here at the hangar and also at Reno Machine Company and Bolton Works, McBurney is devoting energy to securing and expanding his sponsorship base so that he can get the funding for university students to partake in internships. It all goes back to the educational component.
The benefit of that is these students will become experienced using reverse engineering techniques, computer-aided design techniques, SolidWorks, and they'll be viable candidates for employment at these companies.
I think it's a fabulous education project because it not only demonstrates the rich history of both the airplane itself and also Connecticut's contribution to the aerospace field, but it's something that engages students and young professionals in that it moves something from the historical and theoretical realm to the practical realm. How do you take this knowledge and apply it and actually build something tangible?
At the end of the day, though, it's a very fascinating project because we work with people, we work with different companies, we network with other opportunities, so every day is different. And at the end of the day, we're helping preserve part of Connecticut's history.
For localonlinenews.tv, I'm Meredith Rizaki.
I'm a needless markup wannabe. I overcharge to make you think you're buying quality.
My Bob's Way is your way to save money. The wannabes can't even try to beat my Clio sofa and love seat, sold individually at $848. But it gets even better. Buy a My Bob's Way and you save even more. Both pieces only $7.99. The wannabes can't compete.
That's why I am just a wannabe.